Hey, yesterday the news came down as the county attorney had a press conference with the East Valley law enforcement regarding the arrest of 4 individuals in the case of the death of Preston Lord. Joining us now to talk about that is the county attorney, Rachel Mitchell. Ms. Mitchell, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
So let me start with a couple of questions because now we understand that a 5th person has been arrested in this. Can you update us on the 5th individual that's been arrested?
Absolutely. So the 5th individual is an individual by the name of Taylor Sherman. Mr. Sherman, again, innocent until proven guilty, but is charged with first-degree murder or second-degree murder in the alternative, as well as kidnapping. And then this has not been announced yet, so breaking news for you. We have also served a 6th individual named Jacob Meisner, Meisner. Mr. Meisner is a juvenile and has actually been in custody on 2 other aggravated assaults since January the 12th, and he is charged with first and second-degree murder as well as kidnapping, and he is also charged with aggravated robbery.
So let me thank you for the update. With now a total of 6 individuals have been arrested. I'm curious about the kidnapping charge. How is kidnapping a part of this? What is that charge based on?
Well, kidnapping in Arizona means that you're restricting a person's ability to move. And you've seen some of the other videos related to the other offenses where people are surrounded and their access to escape blocked. And so that constitutes kidnapping in Arizona.
So when you, I know that some of these individuals are minors or under the age of 18. What was the deciding factor, or was it multiple factors in the decision to charge them as adults?
Actually, it's the law. They are charged with serious offenses. And under Arizona law, there are certain offenses, such as murder, that require a filing as an adult. And so that's what we're doing.
There are 6 individuals now that have been arrested or indicted on these charges, have been charged with these crimes. Are there more arrests pending? Do you believe that these are the 6 people involved, or could there be more people in connection with this death?
The investigation is ongoing. So we are still working this to make sure that everybody that participated is held accountable. And so we're still working on that.
Is there, I know I'm trying to ask questions that I know you can answer because there's a lot you may not be able to say with an ongoing investigation, but what was it? Was it an accumulation of things? What was it? Was the tipping point where you finally realized you had these people and they could be charged? How did you get that evidence? Was it witness testimony? What was it that got you there?
Well, it was not one single item. It was accumulation of very hard work by the attorneys and staff in my office of putting together the investigation done by Queen Creek, and of course a shout out to them for their investigation. This was massive. There were so many potential witnesses involved here, and so it was piecing that together as well as interviewing other people that may have been reluctant to talk to the police. It was getting the medical examiner's report. I mean, it was just, there was no one thing. It was accumulation of things.
The Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell is joining us. There have also been allegations of witness tampering, that a lot of these kids or the people that were involved in this were intimidating witnesses and warning people not to come forward and threatening them. Is there validity to that, and will there be charges for people that were involved in that if there were?
I've heard those same allegations as well, Mike, and that's certainly something that we're looking at. I think it's fair to say that nothing's off the table. No one is off the table in this investigation, and if we find evidence that is sufficient to bring those charges, we will bring those charges.
And let me ask you about the family of Preston Lord. Did you discuss with them? Did they know these charges were coming? Were they involved in this, or did you talk with them before you made the announcement to the public?
We have been in regular contact with them, and while there are some things that we're limited in to say to anybody, to the extent that we could keep them informed, we did. It's been very important to us. I've been having regular contact with the attorneys who represent the family and keeping them abreast so that they would understand what is really going on. I know there was so much information and misinformation flying out there that I wanted to make sure that they heard it straight from the county attorney.
There have been allegations against at least one set of parents and some adults that were involved in a cover-up, that one of the suspects was taken out of town until wounds had healed in their hands, and some very serious allegations of covering this up. Is there an ongoing investigation into that? And if so, how much can you tell us about what's happening there?
Well, what I can tell you is that I have heard those allegations as well, and the investigation into not just the homicide itself, but as you know, we've looked at a number of other things. Last night I talked about the 20 different people that we have, or cases that we have brought outside of this homicide. Most of those have to do with aggravated assault, but certainly anything involving hindering prosecution or tampering with evidence, that's not off the table. And so we're going to look at everything, and if it's there, we'll bring it.
And I know it's a hypothetical, but I'm just curious, if there are adults that are involved in a situation like that, if there are people that are helping cover up a crime, how serious are the charges? What are they facing? What could someone like that face when it comes to being arrested and face prison time?
I would have to answer that in a more generic sense. I can't really talk about, speculate on this case yet, but generally speaking, people who are involved in hindering prosecution or tampering with evidence are facing felony charges.
So let's talk about the timeline, if you can let us know. What happens next? You've got 6 people that have been arrested or are in custody for this. What is the process, and what can the public expect moving forward? How quickly or how slowly will this move?
Well, with serious charges, that does tend to move slower through the court system. I know, for example, that they are going to be seen by judges if they haven't already today to have bond set. I heard earlier that Dominic Turner's bond was set at $1 million. So we're going to have that done today. And then we'll proceed through the normal court process. They'll have pretrial conferences, and eventually it will be set for trial.
So I'm sure I don't know if you can answer this or not, but when these cases happen like this where there are multiple defendants, there are times that some defendants will agree to testify. Is that a part of the discussion of some of these people testifying against other suspects?
It's kind of early on for that. That does happen in some other cases. And so, I don't know whether it will happen here, but that does happen occasionally.
And so now you had alluded to the fact that although we've been speaking specifically about the death of Preston Lord, there have been other cases out there that there have arrests have been made. Are there ongoing investigations for other incidents of violence that we could see arrests for in the future?
I would refer you to the police departments for that, but obviously anything that they want to submit to us, we'll take a look at. As I said, we have filed quite a large number of those cases submitted to us by the various East Valley Police Departments, not just Queen Creek, but also Mesa, Gilbert, so we'll look at them.
All right, Ms. Mitchell, as always, it's a pleasure to talk with you. I appreciate the update for the audience. This is such a big story to people here in the Valley, and people have been really concerned about the family of Preston Lord getting some relief and getting some justice, and this looks like a big step in that direction, and we certainly appreciate the update today.
Thanks so much. I met with them early on, and that's what we want for them as well.
Thank you, ma'am. That is Rachel Mitchell. She is the Maricopa County Attorney with an update. There have now been 6 suspects that have been arrested or indicted in the death of Preston Lord. One of them was in custody. We just found out his last name is Meisner, who was arrested. He has been in custody for a couple of other cases. He has been now also accused of these crimes as well. So the 6 individuals, we've got charges of first-degree felony murder, kidnapping, and then Dominic Turner was additionally charged with aggravated robbery. That is the latest update on this case.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch and listen to the new season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.